I was hooked up to N4, cold metal under my skin, sterile, white walls closing in. First day of chemo. First F**************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************:The one who swore in sickness and in health would be right there, holding your hand, whispering strength into your ear. Instead, the chair next to mine was empty. The room was filled with strangers, but I'd never felt more alone. I checked my phone again. No message. No missed calls. Just the date staring back at me, mocking me. April 3rd, 10:47 a.m. She knew. Claire knew it was today, so I called her. The phone rang 3 times before she picked up. Her voice came through light, airy, like she was sipping wine under the sun. "Hola, babe," she said, almost singing. "Everything okay?" I swallowed hard. "Where the hell are you, Claire?" She hesitated, just for a beat. Then, "I'm in Spain. At a spa. With Kyle." My brain short-circuited. Spain. Spa. Kyle. Kyle, my best friend since college. The guy who held the mic at our wedding and toasted us as the couple that made him believe in love. That Kyle. "What the hell are you talking about?" I asked, my voice low. Claire laughed. Actually laughed. "Don't be so dramatic, Ethan. You'll be fine. It's just the first treatment. You've got like, what? Months of this." Then I heard Kyle's voice in the background, unmistakable. "Tell him not to stress. He'll be gone soon anyway." Gone. They both laughed. Together. I stared at the 4 in my arm, my pulse pounding through my skull. My body was weak, but my mind, my heart, was on fire. I didn't say a word. Just hung up. There was nothing left to say. I finished the treatment alone. Each drop of chemo felt like betrayal swimming through my blood. When I got home, hours later, the house was dark. Quiet. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wedding photo on the wall. Claire's smile, her hands in mine. Lies. Every damn frame, soaked in lies. Then, just after midnight, the front door slammed. "Ethan! Ethan!" she screamed, voice panicked. I walked downstairs slowly. She was a mess. Hair tangled, face pale, heels in her hands. Makeup smeared like she'd been crying or running or both. She saw me and ran forward. "Something happened. Ethan, you don't understand. I need to explain." I didn't move. "Explain Spain," I said. Her lips parted. No sound. "Explain the spa. Explain why Kyle was laughing while I was sitting in a chair, trying to stay alive." She blinked like I'd slapped her. "You weren't supposed to know." Wrong answer. I stared her down, and something inside me shifted. Whatever love I had left, it died right there in that moment. Smothered by salt water and betrayal. And I knew, from that second forward, Claire's nightmare was just beginning. She stood there, shaking like a leaf in a storm she created herself. Still wearing that silk dress I'd never seen before. Still smelling like a perfume I didn't buy. She looked like she'd just run from a crime scene. And in a way, she had. I wasn't supposed to know. I said, my voice low. "That's your defense. Ethan, please, just listen. It's not what it sounds like." "Really?" "Because it sounded like my wife ditched me on the first day of cancer treatment to fly to Spain with my best friend. And then laughed about how I wouldn't be around much longer. Sound about right." She opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. "What, Claire? The trip? The affair? Or the part where I didn't just roll over and die quietly?" Her face twisted, first into shame, then anger, then back to that cold, entitled mask I'd seen before, usually when she didn't get her way. "I needed time for myself, okay? Everything's been about you lately. The chemo, the doctors, the moods. You think this has been easy for me?" I laughed. A short, sharp, hollow sound. "Wow. I'm sorry my cancer's been an inconvenience to your spa schedule." She rolled her eyes. Rolled her goddamn eyes. "Don't twist it." "No, Claire. You twisted it. You twisted 12 years of marriage, trust, friendship. All for what? Some mud bath and a back rub with Kyle. Don't talk about him like that." I took a step closer. "I'll talk about him however I want. He's dead to me. And you? You're just the one who lit the match." She stared, mouth trembling. "I made a mistake." "No, Claire. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. You planned this. You booked flights. You packed bags. You told him my treatment schedule." She dropped her heels and slumped onto the couch, covering her face with her hands. "You don't know what it's been like living with you these past few months. I needed to feel something again." "Then why come back?" I asked, quieter now. "Why the dramatic entrance? Why the screaming? She looked up at me with glassy eyes. Because something happened in Spain. Kyle, he snapped. I tried to leave early and he lost it. He threw my phone. Said I couldn't just come back to you like nothing happened. I narrowed my eyes. So what? This is you crawling back to safety. She shook her head. I was scared. He's not who I thought he was. Well, neither are you, I said. Silence. The kind that suffocates. I didn't say another word. I turned and walked back upstairs, every step heavier than the last. I could hear her crying downstairs. For once, it didn't move me. Didn't make me want to fix it. Because some things, some people, can't be fixed. That night, I didn't sleep. I opened every file, every photo, every text I could find. I followed the trail of lies, hotels in Paris, dinner in LA, secret bank withdrawals, little messages she thought I'd never see. The affair wasn't new. Spain wasn't the beginning. It was just the only one she didn't hide well enough. 12 years undone in 12 minutes. The next morning, I made coffee. 1 cup. For me. Claire came into the kitchen barefoot, wearing my old hoodie like some desperate symbol of belonging. She looked wrecked. I barely looked at her. She spoke first. So what happens now? I sipped. Set the mug down. Now? Now we do what you should have done before Spain. What's that? I looked her dead in the eye. We ended. She didn't cry. Not at first. She just stood there, staring at me like I'd just spoken a language she'd never heard before. Like, we ended, wasn't something she thought I had the spine to say. That told me everything. She thought I'd beg, plead, forgive. She still thought she had that power over me. Finally, she spoke, voice brittle. You don't mean that. I didn't blink. I've never meant anything more. Claire took a step forward. Ethan, we can get through this. You're just emotional. You're sick. You're not thinking clearly. I smiled, bitter and tired. Don't you dare weaponize my illness. You think chemo fog made me hallucinate your trip to Spain? That I imagined Kyle telling me I'd be dead soon. She opened her mouth, but I kept going. I've been doing a lot of thinking, Claire. Between the needles and the pills and the hours alone, I've had time. And you know what I realized? You weren't just cheating on me. You abandoned me. On the worst day of my life. You chose luxury over loyalty. Her eyes filled with tears, but they didn't move me. Not anymore. I wasn't ready to be a caretaker, she whispered. I panicked. I needed air. I needed Kyle's hands on you. I snapped. She flinched like I'd slapped her, but she didn't deny it. Not this time. And that silence, that guilty silence, was louder than any confession. I'm going to stay at my sister's, she said eventually, voice hollow. I nodded. Good. Take your time. Don't come back. She paused in the doorway, her fingers gripping the frame like it was the only thing holding her upright. You really won't forgive me? I laughed. Not cruel. Just tired. Claire, this wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. Over and over again. She left without another word. No kiss goodbye, no final look. Just the sound of the door shutting behind her and the sudden, surreal calm that followed. I sat in that silence for a long time. And then I started digging. Not into my grief, into the facts. I needed to know how deep this betrayal ran. How far back it went. Because if there's one thing I've learned from Claire, it's this. Lies never travel alone. First, I checked the credit card statements. There it was, Madrid, Seville, Barcelona. One hotel had a spa charge under her name. Another listed 2 guests. I knew she never told me about those trips. Hell, I was in the hospital for one of them. Then I checked her emails. The passwords hadn't changed. A flight confirmation from months ago. A hotel invoice sent to Kyle's email address. A calendar invite titled Weekend in Sin. My stomach twisted, but I kept going. I had to. Then, something worse. An old thread, Claire and Kyle, joking about playing nurse while I was getting my biopsy. He's out cold, LOL, she wrote. Guess I'm free tonight. Kyle responded with a photo of her in lingerie. I closed the laptop. My hands were shaking, but it wasn't from chemo this time. It was rage. Claire hadn't just cheated. She enjoyed it. Mocked me. Used my illness as an excuse to sneak around. And Kyle, the man who gave a toast at my wedding, was in on it the whole damn time. They didn't just betray me. They celebrated it. So no, I wasn't going to forgive her. I was going to burn the whole damn memory down. I didn't sleep that night. Not a minute. I just lay there in the dark, listening to the soft hum of the fridge, staring at the ceiling fan spinning shadows across the room. My mind kept playing it all back. Her voice, her laugh, his laugh, the way she said Spain, like it was a gift she deserved. The photos, the lingerie, the way they joked about me like I was already dead. And yet, I wasn't. By morning, something in me had shifted. I didn't feel broken anymore. I felt sharp, cold, focused. I opened the safe in the bedroom closet and pulled out the file I kept for emergencies. Our marriage license, our joint accounts, the deed. I stacked it all on the kitchen table. She'd get served within the week. But this wasn't just about divorce. This was about truth. I drove across town to Kyle's apartment. I knew he was back from Spain. He'd posted an Instagram story the night before, clinking glasses on some rooftop in the city, tagging a fake model account he probably used to cover his trail. The arrogance on this bastard. I parked 2 blocks away and walked. When he opened the door, he looked surprised. Not guilty, not afraid, just mildly annoyed, like I'd interrupted something. His hair was wet, a towel slung over his shoulder. "Ethan," he said, too casually. "Didn't expect you." "No," I replied. "You expected me to die." He leaned on the frame and smiled like a snake. "Come on, man. Don't be dramatic." I didn't say a word. I just stared at him, long enough for the grin to slide off his face. "What are you doing here?" he finally asked, voice quieter. "You said I wouldn't be around much longer," I said. Surprise. He glanced over his shoulder, maybe checking if someone else was inside. "Claire? Another woman?" Didn't matter. I took a step closer. "I want you to hear it from me. I'm divorcing her. And I've got everything, messages, receipts, photos. You think this is over? It's not even started." He scoffed. "You think anyone cares about your sob story? You're the one who fell apart. You pushed her away." There it was. The real Kyle. Smug. Self-righteous. Trash in a tailored shirt. "She'll come crawling back," he added. "They always do when the money runs out." I smiled, calm and controlled. "Good luck with that. Because I already froze the accounts. Every cent she touched is mine. She won't get a penny unless a judge says so." His eyes flared. "You serious?" "Dead." I turned around and walked away without another word. That night, Claire called. I didn't answer. Then she texted, "I think I made a mistake." I stared at those words like they were a puzzle. Not because I didn't understand them, but because they were so small, so empty, so insulting. "You think? After everything? You think?" She followed up an hour later. "Can we meet? Just to talk." I ignored that too. The next day, her sister showed up at my house. Jenna, wide-eyed and nervous. "She's falling apart," she said. "Claire's not eating. She hasn't stopped crying." "Let her starve," I said without flinching. Jenna was silent for a beat. Then, quietly, she said Kyle hit her. That stopped me. She said he got drunk in Spain. Broke her phone. Tried to grab her. That's why she came home early. I didn't say anything. "Ethan, she's not okay." I stood there, jaw tight, staring at the floor. A part of me wanted to ask questions. A part of me wanted to care. But the other part, the louder part, remembered every lie, every laugh, every little betrayal she thought I'd never find. "She'll figure it out," I said. "She's good at landing on her feet." And I shut the door. Because whatever came next, it was no longer my burden to carry. The calls didn't stop. Every day, morning, night, 2 a.m., like clockwork. She tried everything. Soft, pleading voicemails. Angry, blaming ones. Then came the fake apologies, drenched in desperation. Each one made me sick. "Ethan, please, I made a horrible mistake." I was scared. I was confused. "You don't understand what Kyle did, what he said to me. Please, just talk to me. I don't have anyone else." But I didn't press play anymore. I just stared at the missed calls. Deleted them all without listening. Her voice wasn't pain anymore. It was noise. White noise in a house that was finally clean of lies. I spent my days quietly, rebuilding. Going to treatment. Reading. Sleeping. Planning. It was like war. And I wasn't going to survive cancer just to rot in the ruins of her betrayal. Then, 3 weeks after she left, I got a knock at the door. It wasn't Claire. It was Kyle's wife. Yeah, his wife. She was tall, dark hair pulled tight, no makeup, but her eyes. Those eyes were on fire. "Ethan," she said, even though she clearly already knew. I nodded. She handed me a folder. "You're not the only one he lied to." Inside, screenshots, emails, photos. Claire wasn't Kyle's only affair. Not even close. There was a woman from work. Someone in Vegas. A girl who looked barely legal. And all of them overlapped. Claire was just another on the pile. I flipped through slowly. There was Claire, half naked in a hotel mirror. And then, same room, different girl, different date. He was recycling locations like a psychopath. I left him last night, the wife said. Took the kids. Told him I'd bury him in court. I nodded slowly. You'll win. She gave a dry laugh. And you? I looked down at the photos again. Claire's stupid grin. Kyle's smug face behind her. I'm already dead to them, I said. Now I get to be the ghost that haunts them. She gave a small, vicious smile. Let's stay in touch. And then she left. 2 days later, Claire showed up at the house. She didn't knock. Just walked in like it was still hers. I found her in the kitchen, barefoot, rummaging through the fridge like we were still some normal couple. I didn't say a word. Just stood there. She turned and jumped, startled. Oh, I didn't know you were home. Clearly. She smiled like nothing happened. I just wanted to grab a few things. I nodded to the hallway. Your things are boxed. On the porch. Her face dropped. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to fly to Spain with my best friend. She rolled her eyes. Still on that. My jaw locked. Still on that. Claire, it's been 3 weeks. Not 3 years. You torched this house, and now you're confused why the door's locked. She crossed her arms. You don't understand what he did to me. He used me. He tricked me. I didn't want any of it. I held up my phone. Opened the email. Showed her the photos Kyle's wife had given me. Claire's face went pale. Recognize the room? I asked. Because Kyle used it with 3 other women. Before, during, and after you. She didn't speak. Congratulations, I said. You weren't his soulmate. You were a coupon. Claire's voice cracked. I thought he loved me. I shook my head. You thought you were the smart one. That you were trading up. That you'd sneak away with my best friend while I was too sick to notice. You didn't fall for love, Claire. You fell for a mirror. He was just like you. She collapsed into a chair. I don't have anywhere to go. Not my problem. Tears welled up, but I didn't care anymore. Ethan, please, we had something. 12 years. That means nothing. I stepped closer. 12 years died the moment you pressed send on that lingerie pic. You threw it all away. For what? A spa weekend in ing Spain? She looked up at me like she didn't recognize me anymore. Maybe she didn't. Because I wasn't the man she left behind. That man died in the chemo chair. I was someone new. Someone with nothing left to lose. She didn't say anything for a long time. Just sat there staring at her own hands like maybe they'd done something behind her back. The air between us was heavy. Not like before, not grief, not anger. It was judgment. And this time, she felt it. She knew I saw her for what she really was. I don't even know who I am anymore, she whispered. I leaned against the counter, arms folded. You're Claire. The woman who left her husband on his first chemo day to chase pleasure with a man who didn't even respect her enough to be exclusive. That's who you are. She flinched like the words slapped her. You think you're broken now? I continued, voice cold. You broke me first. Piece by piece. Lie by lie. Smile by fake smile. Claire wiped her eyes, but I could tell. Those tears weren't for me. They were for her. For the life she destroyed with her own hands. I didn't think you'd ever find out, she said, quieter. That's the part that kills me, I replied. Not that you did it. Not even that it was Kyle. But that you assumed I'd just disappear quietly. You wrote me off. Buried me before the chemo even started. She looked up, finally meeting my eyes. Do you hate me? I shook my head. No. Hate takes effort. I'm done giving you that. She stood up slowly, unsteady. What if I told you I still loved you? I laughed once, dry, humorless. Claire, you loved how I loved you. You loved the security, the comfort. You loved being adored. But me? You never really saw me, did you? Silence. I stepped forward, not threatening, just final. This is the last conversation we're ever going to have. Next time we talk, it'll be through lawyers. Her bottom lip trembled. You really mean that? Yeah, I said, opening the front door for her. I really do. She hesitated for a second, maybe expecting me to change my mind, beg her to stay, say something nostalgic about better times. I didn't. She walked out slowly, each step echoing like the last beat of a dead marriage. I closed the door behind her and locked it. And for the first time in weeks, I breathed. Really breathed. Deep. Calm. Steady. I went upstairs and looked at myself in the mirror. Pale. Thinner. Tired. But I didn't look broken anymore. The man in the mirror had been through hell. And he survived it. There was chemo ahead. Recovery. Still a storm to walk through. But now, I wasn't carrying dead weight. I wasn't dragging betrayal behind me like a shadow. She was gone, and she could stay gone. That night, I slept, not just with my eyes closed, but with peace. And for a man who was supposed to be dying, that felt a whole lot like the beginning of life. The days after she left were eerily calm. No more calls, no more texts, no drama at the door, nothing. It was as if she vanished, like some ghost that had finally realized it wasn't welcome in the house anymore. But I knew Claire better than that. Silence wasn't peace. It was buildup. I focused on healing. Treatment days still drained the life out of me, but now I had something deeper fueling me: clarity. With her gone, I started to feel like myself again. Not the man she saw, weak, dying, disposable, but the one she forgot existed. The one who built his own name from nothing. The one who didn't just survive betrayal. He grew sharper because of it. I spent more time outdoors, walked longer, sat in parks with a coffee, and just watched people live. It was strange how much the world keeps spinning even after yours explodes. Families laughed. Couples kissed. Life, in its unapologetic indifference, moved on. So did I. And then, of course, the silence broke. It was a Friday. I was finishing a call with my doctor when the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. No deliveries, no friends. I opened the door, and there he was. Kyle. Standing on my porch like this was just some neighborly visit. His shirt unbuttoned just enough to try and look casual, sunglasses still in his hand, like he expected to charm his way in. But his face, he looked different now. Nervous. Tired. There was a twitch in his jaw he couldn't hide. I didn't speak. Just stared. "Can I come in?" he asked. I didn't move. He shifted his weight, glanced behind him like someone might be watching. "Look, man, I messed up." I raised an eyebrow. "Which part?" He let out a pathetic little chuckle. "All of it, I guess." "You guess?" He rubbed his neck. "Claire said you know everything. About Spain. The other stuff. The women. She left out the lingerie selfie she sent you while I was in the hospital, but yeah, I pieced it together." He looked down. "I didn't mean to hurt you, Ethan. But you did. I know, man. I was just in a bad place. You were inside my wife." He winced. Like hearing it out loud was finally real. I leaned against the doorframe, still not letting him in. "You came here to apologize?" He nodded. "Yeah, that, and to tell you she's staying with me now. Temporarily." I almost laughed. "She got nowhere else," he added, defensive. "It's not like we're together. I didn't want you hearing it from someone else." How noble. He tried to read my face, probably looking for some hint of pain, regret, jealousy. I gave him none. I was done bleeding over these people. "You both deserve each other," I said simply. "I hope you rot in the same bed you betrayed me in." His face hardened. The fake remorse dropped in a flash. "You think you're better than us?" "No," I said. "I know I am." I closed the door in his face. No screaming. No punches. No breakdown. Just finality. And that was more powerful than any revenge I could have planned. Later that night, Claire texted me again. One line. "I made a mistake choosing him." No reply. A few minutes later, another. "I wish I could undo everything." Still nothing. I wasn't her savior. Not anymore. Let Kyle play hero if he wanted. He'd see soon enough what it was like when she turned on you. When her games wore thin and the lies ran dry. The next day, I went to treatment again. Same chair. Same nurse. But something felt lighter. Like I'd cut a rope that had been around my neck for years and finally took a full breath. And as the 4-drip started, I leaned back, closed my eyes, and smiled. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was living. Weeks turned into months. Treatments came and went. My body weakened, but my mind got sharper, clearer. Claire never stopped trying to claw her way back in. She sent emails, letters, even tried showing up at my clinic once, acting like we were some tragic love story torn apart by circumstance. But I didn't even flinch. I had already buried her. Not literally, no, but emotionally, spiritually. Claire was already 6 feet under in a grave she dug with her own selfish hands. And Kyle? Word got around he lost his job. Got caught sending company inappropriate material to an intern. Last I heard, he moved back in with his parents in Arizona. Claire didn't go with him. Surprise. Eventually, she stopped contacting me. Maybe she finally realized I wasn't a backup plan. I wasn't someone she could cry her way back to. I wasn't the man waiting on the porch, holding a rose and a stupid hope. I was the man she left to die, and who refused to. One afternoon, after my last round of treatment, I walked outside and stood in the sunlight. Just stood there. No tubes in my arms. No machines beeping. No whispers behind my back. For the first time in a long time, I felt clean. Not healed, no. Healing takes time. But clean. Like someone scrubbed away everything fake and left only what mattered. People ask me now if I miss her. I don't. I miss who I thought she was. I miss the idea of the woman I married. But that woman never existed. She was a mask. A performance. And me? I was just the fool in the front row clapping like it was real. But I'm not clapping anymore. I've got new people in my life now. Real ones. People who stayed. People who didn't flinch when it got hard. I've reconnected with my brother. Made a few friends at treatment. Hell, even the nurse who used to hold my hand during IVs. We've been grabbing coffee after sessions. She listens when I speak. And she never once asked me to forget. So, if you're reading this, and you're where I was, here's what I'll say. Don't chase ghosts. Don't beg liars for closure. Don't drown in the why. Some people will hurt you in ways you'll never understand. And that's not your burden. That's theirs. Let them carry it. Let them rot with it. You survive. You build something new. And the next time they come knocking, whispering, I made a mistake, just smile and close the door.